That was quite an engaging presentation. My compliments to my colleague Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji for putting together Petrotech 2016 and scaling it up to bring relevance to this subject and I think excite the imagination of all stakeholders in this business to look at India, to work in India, expand their business in India, and of course do all of this in a transformative way, in a scaling up the vision of this sector and the good work that we've seen in the last 2.5 years, particularly setting the framework of the sector right, I'm sure will help this sector take massive strides in the days to come. Mr. Anil Dave is with us, the Honorable Minister for Environment, somebody who has played a very, very important role in finalizing the recent agreement amongst all nations, particularly related to the use of HFCs in the country. And I compliment you, Anilji, for really keeping India's interests at the forefront of the agreement that you finalized, and due to which we all feel comfortable that we will not be deprived of our development imperatives in the days to come. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, when you're looking at transforming India, you cannot but recall the words of Prime Minister Modi at the inaugural Transforming India series, where he spoke about the transformation of India, which cannot happen without a transformation of governance. And transformation of governance cannot happen without a transformation of mindset. And a transformation of the minds cannot happen without transformative ideas. And in that sense, Rajat's presentation does give us a lot of food for thought, new ideas, new ways to look at current engagements. But before I move forward, I must reassure Rajat and all the esteemed delegates here that this government stands committed to realize the intent that we have put forth in different areas. It could be in environment, it could be in petroleum, it could be in power or renewable energy. And we are very, very committed that an intent, once finalized, and the finalization process may be long, we may put in a lot of hours, burn the midnight oil before we finalize intent. But once finalized, we all stand committed to realizing that vision. We also believe that a good balance between economics and politics has to be found. This transitionary phase where we are recognizing the energy cost of doing business also has certain political dimensions, which we all recognize. And therefore, that is what is good governance or intelligent governance, where you balance good politics, just politics, with good governance. Clearly, the investment cycle needs to be revitalized. He spoke about doom and gloom. I don't know if in a doom and gloom situation, India could have emerged as the world's fastest growing large economy. But I do believe that the interest in investments is there. It needs to be ignited a little faster, particularly when it comes to Indian corporates, Indian businesses expanding or setting up new investments. That's where the role of all of us in this room can be very important in changing the mindset from the one you articulated to a mindset of positivity, of optimism, and the do-it approach that I believe the world and the nation is looking for. Very clearly, it is an uncertain environment, uncertainty not only in India, but worldwide. And I remember before the results of the recent election in the world's largest democracy, the question being asked was, if one wins, the course of history can change. If another wins, there could be another narrative before the world. Of course, on a lighter note, I was sitting pretty because if one wins, the coal industry gets a boost, if the other wins, the renewable energy sector gets a boost. But in any case, one cannot shirk away from the reality that within that uncertain environment is intelligence to be able to operate and to be able to make the best of that uncertain environment. Within the country, of course, all of us are committed to creating a very stable and more predictable regulatory framework, more transparent framework, so that businesses can succeed and businesses can prosper in India. And as regards leapfrogging technology, I think the three areas which you focused on in your presentation most, almost there was a thread in every slide on energy efficiency, on solar energy, and on electric vehicles. And if one was to look at India's intention, plans and action so far on all three fronts, in terms of energy efficiency, whether it is Dharmendra ji's department or my department, we are all committed to climate change, we are all committed to leaving behind a better planet for the next generation. And therefore, he has been bringing forth cleaner and cleaner fossil fuels. We have been working to use coal more efficiently, while simultaneously ensuring that renewable energy gets a historic push in India, something the likes of which the world has never seen. Similarly, on energy efficiency, in terms of use of LEDs, for example, or the PAT scheme, the Perform, Achieve and Trade scheme, in which we are encouraging industries to use more modern and more energy efficient equipment. I think the kind of work that India has shown is unparalleled anywhere in the world. Our own share of LEDs, for example, in the world's LED business has grown from 0.2% of world market to 16% in the short span of 2 years. And I have no doubt in my mind that given Prime Minister Modi's vision to, in the long run, reduce our import dependence on fuel or raw material to power the nation, both Dharmendra ji and I are both committed to making sure that in different areas under our in our working areas, we will ensure that energy efficiency takes center stage, and we would like to bring the latest and the best in the world to come to India. Similarly, on solar, we have leveraged large economies of scale by bidding out nearly 20,000 megawatts of solar projects in a most transparent manner last year. And while we did get the benefits of economies of scale and we got the benefits of newer technologies, but I'm sure Rajat knows that there hasn't been any significant change in the photovoltaic technology. I think we also were able to leverage the advantages of transparent bidding through the reverse e-auction process, by which we could drive down prices by about 45% during the last year's bidding. And all of this was achieved because the entire process has been revisited, has been rewritten, and there's an equal opportunity for all within the country or outside to participate and give India the benefit of the latest technology at large scale. On electric vehicles, an interministerial group where Mr. Gite is there, Mr. Gadkari, Mr. Pradhan, Mr. Dave and I have been working to see how we can scale up our engagement on electric vehicles and ramp it up on a fast track basis. I do believe there's tremendous potential in the field of electric vehicles, and going forward, we all stand committed to taking India to the vanguard of electric vehicles and possibly achieving the vision that we want to achieve, where all new vehicles post 2030 are all electric vehicles. And we want to do it smart. We want to leapfrog the past and do it in a smarter fashion, where we create standards across the nation, standards of charging infrastructure, standards of battery, so that interoperability can be managed across the length and breadth of the country. And I think that's the advantage India has, rather than allowing different streams of technology to proliferate in different parts of the country. We would like to see if we can make, just as we have the vision of one nation, one grid, and going forward hopefully one price, we would like to, in the electric vehicle space, also look at India as one whole. Whole as in W-H-O-L-E, okay, not the, without the W. But look at India as one holistic nation where we can actually bring in the best of technologies at the most efficient price and scale up our engagement in electric vehicles. And in fact, when you talk about ideas, ideas are only as good as what you do to make it happen. And this government of Prime Minister Modi is committed to making these ideas happen on the ground. After all, when we do talk about the cancellation of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, one of the integral benefits and ideas that is concomitant with this concept of cancelling these old currencies is the push towards digital and cashless transactions. And I'd like to compliment Dharmendra Pradhanji. In the last 4 days, since the petrol pumps stopped using the old currency, first the 1,000 rupees and then even the 500 rupee notes, we now have a stage that in a short span of 4 days, the Petroleum Ministry, through its 50,000 odd petrol pumps, has been able to almost double the digital transactions, the cashless transactions. I believe it will be a story which will be written and remembered for years and years to come. And the speed at which this scale-up has been done in the petrol pumps not only shows us the direction in which the country is going, not only gives all of us the confidence that moving to a less cash economy, or at least large sections of society, just like when we are abroad in any other country, we hardly use dollar or euro currency notes. We all use plastic. And going forward, the vision is that even plastic will be outdated and India will leapfrog into the age of digital through mobile technology. It could be wallets, it could be the UPI network that the government of India has designed and prepared, the unified payment interface. It could be the USSD network which uses feature phones. It could be the Aadhaar enabled payment system. There are so many bouquet of options before the people. And I think this is that time. As they say, an idea is only good if it's implemented when its time has come. I think just like we saw in energy efficiency in LEDs or in solar, that India was there at the right time to cash in on that opportunity. I believe today is the time when India can go digital, India can expand its digital engagement with the financial world and truly take financial inclusion to the last man at the bottom of the pyramid, and nobody better than the Petroleum Minister and his ministry to have proved this by example, by performance. And I'm sure this performance will encourage the rest of the country to also look at going digital in a fast-track manner, in a manner which can make India proud and possibly one of the fastest ramp-ups on digital and financial interface ever seen in the history of the world. This speed, this scale, and the skill with which this program is being implemented truly deserves a big round of applause for all the people in the petroleum sector, led by the Honorable Minister. I think I'd just like to conclude by saying that India's time has come, and it's the choice of all of the participants of the oil and gas sector who are here in Petrotech today, even others who may not have had a chance to engage here in this conference, but are watching India. It is the opportunity of a lifetime. India is looking to rapidly expand its oil and gas exploration, consumption, and make India energy secure. Get out of the import dependency. This is the time where people, and I'm told there was a fantastic response to the auction, again in a most transparent and equal opportunity for all process, for the marginalized and small fields that Minister Pradhan had given out. Now these are the kind of successes which I think need to be emulated, further expanded, and I have no doubt that the efforts towards transparency, towards large-scale exploration and exploitation in the oil and gas sector to make India an energy secure nation will bear fruit in the years to come. My best wishes to Mr. Pradhan, to all the delegates and participants of Petrotech,